All right, let's get that started. Successful teams are made of successful people. People that are really good, like these ones here. Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg. All successful people. Who don't want those people on their teams? These rock stars. But look at Steve Jobs, very successful. And he invented the Macintosh. Really? Did he? No. It was actually his team that did all the work. He inspired the team and he guided the team, but it was his team that did all the work. Or Elon Musk revolutionized the electrical cars. No, actually, his team actually did all the hard work. Without his team, there won't be a Tesla today. Or Mark Zuckerberg. Well, maybe Mark wrote a lot of lines of code. Facebook, yeah, that might be true. But it was his team that inspired him actually doing all this stuff. So, my name is Sven. I work for Atlassian. We do software tools like Jira, Confluence, HipChat, Bitbucket, you name it. And I've been working with a lot of teams, not just inside Atlassian, also before I worked with Atlassian. And it's like in all organizations, it looks like this. There are some teams that are just normal teams, and then there are some teams that just do it right. They're just are extraordinary great. You know, these teams are actually, so if you have a task to do, you know this team is just doing it within a week. With other teams, it takes months to get that done. So I see that in every organization. There are teams that are really good and teams that are just normal performance. So actually, Google has looked at teams and they want to find some patterns. What are the difference between normal teams and high performance teams? And they looked at different teams. So for example, Team A is a very structured team. They ask questions, then they get answers, they talk, and then listening to each other. And at the end of a meeting, 5 minutes before, they write their to-do list, what to do, go back to the workplace, work, and meet the next day. Very, very structured teams. They have processes in places for a lot of stuff. And then there are teams like Team B. Just totally chaotic team, just totally disorganized, very passionate discussion. They always get kicked out of the meeting rooms because it takes too long for them to discuss stuff. And they hang out in the evenings and get stuff done. Very chaotic, not that structured. So who's working more in a Team A environment? Structured, processes in place. Okay. Who's working more in a Team B environment? Chaotic. Okay, that's half-half. Google has looked at that, and they actually have found high-performance teams that work like Team A and work like Team B. So couldn't find really a pattern, and they looked really, really deeply into that. And at the end, they found something. High-performance teams, they talk to each other. People are talking, interacting, communicating all the time. Exchanging ideas. Not only that, they also, of course, listen to each other and respect each other. So they listen to their ideas, discuss these ideas. So these teams are actually acting in a psychological safe place. So a very safe place where they can say their opinions and they get valued. But not only that, that is maybe the core of high-performance teams. But also high-performance teams need a strong structure, a balanced team. And they share actually the same mindset, so thinking along the same lines. They also need support from the rest of the organization, and they need that quick and to be high performant. And those teams have a direction they're heading after. They know what is our goal. And this is actually the secret sauce of high-performance teams. Compelling direction, supportive context, strong structure, and a shared mindset. Okay, let's dive into these things here. How to give teams a compelling direction. We know that people are coming to our desk and say, hey, or to my desk and say, hey, Sven, can you do that very, very quickly? And there's so many goals, actually, that we have. People ask us to have less downtime with our services. And then somebody comes and says, Project Y is the most important. No, it's Project X is the most important. We need continuous deployment. Do that. We want to host everything in the cloud. Let's do that. So we get torn by all these goals that people give us, all these tasks that people give us. Instead of that, a team should more have a vision, a North Star that guides them in the direction. And they can go left and right. It's just a guidance. So it's the vision of the team. And not just of the team, but also of the whole organization. A 2-year plan. Where do we want to be in 2 years? And underneath that, so we put that together at Atlassian, the 2-year plan. Underneath that, we actually have themes. So different areas, what we want to improve, what we want to work on. And underneath these themes, we have focus areas. So a focus area, for example, last year was to work on mobile. So all our tools were not mobile ready. So we worked on mobile apps actually for our tools. So we ramped up the team of 30 people that now works on doing Jira Mobile and Confluence Mobile apps. So that was a focus area last year. 3 years ago, we had a focus area on enterprises. So we brought our products we created a product called Data Center, which you can scale high availability and you can scale Jira. So this was a focus area at that time. So having focus areas, just a 1-year focus area, if you're in doubt what you should work on, you look at your focus area and said, this is exactly what we should work on. This is what we all agreed on. And then also put measurements in place. How does success look like? What are the measurements here for success? What's really important? And our leadership thought, this is so brilliant. We're going this way, and we call this vision, themes, focus, and measurements, VTFM. And everyone should know VTFM. Of course, developer says, VT what? I have no idea. What's that? So, okay, but we wanted to get our developers there that they know how important that is and what VTFM stands for. So they made a video and it looked like this.
What does VTFM stand for?
No idea.
Any guesses?
No.
VTSM? Ring a bell at all?
Oh yeah, no, I know what it means. I know what it.
It's fun to follow the VTFM. It's fun to follow the VTFM. It has vision and themes for you all to enjoy. You can find them without the noise. VTFM, you'll find it at the VTFM. Atlassian, there's no need to feel down. Atlassian, get yourself off the ground. VTFM, just go to the VTFM. Atlassian, are you listening to me? Atlassian, what do we want to be?
And now I get it.
Right. You know why we're in the software industry and not in the music industry. So not so good singers. Anyway, so focusing on stuff is very important. I was once working with a team in Germany, and there was another team in the UK. The UK guys, they thought we need to put out more features. The German guys thought we should work more on quality. So it really dragged out in different directions. And if we would have a focus area that said, okay, let's work on new customers, so let's make new features, great. The German team would have also get in the direction of making new features. But then on the other side, if we want to work on quality the next year, we have that as a focus area. But okay, you might say, hey, this is all organizational stuff, sounds very fluffy. What does that mean for our teams? How do we set goals? So we use a system called OKR. OKR is not invented by us. Google uses it. I think it comes from Intel. So a lot of companies are using OKRs. And OKRs is objective on one side, and then each objective has different key results. So just to give you an example here. Objective could be building a mobile app. That is an objective that we have. And then we say, okay, the key result at the end of the quarter, you want to have 1,000 daily users for that mobile app. That's a key result. Measurement, it's measurable. We can say, we can tick the box. And then we measure the result at the end of the quarter and say, we just have 700 daily users. So we score with 0.7. Which is okay for us. So everything that is 0.7 to 1.0 is fine. It's goal achieved. We have stretch goals that stretches us, that really takes us to the next level. So 700 daily users, great. Okay. So OKRs, we set ourselves stretch goals. This is one thing. The other thing is that we do them quarterly, and quarterly gives us a good cadence actually of refining the goals after each quarter, but also gives the team stability that they know what they work on for the next quarter. And then less is more. I mean, having just 2-3 objectives within a quarter is more than enough, and having 3 key results under each objective, that's more than enough to focus on. So less is more here. And then make those goals transparent. That's also very important. So I just put in OKR FY17 in our Confluence instance, and I can actually see everyone's goals here. So I can see the design team OKRs, Helen's OKRs, the Confluence design team's OKRs. So transparent, so you know the goals from the team next door, and you can align those goals, and you can say, hey, why do you work on this goals? We work on this goal. So you can align those goals. Transparent goals, very important. So you might think, okay, this is all looks good on paper, great. But sometimes we have our project goals, and we run in that direction, and then we don't do a sanity check. But that's important. We have to do a sanity check if we're really heading into the right direction with our projects. So for all who have read that book, Creativity Inc., it's from the founder of Pixar. And they are doing something, and it's described in this book, called a brain trust meeting, where they have their directors, the animation directors, and they have a meeting with all kinds of creative people, and then a director of a new animation movie is pitching their ideas, their story, and they have an honest discussion on that. And we thought, this is so good, really having a lot of people looking at what we're doing, and what we are currently working on. So we experimenting with it, and we call it product brain trust. Where we have a project, we invite people each week, different project, and then you get in front of our founders, some product managers that really have a lot of experience in building tools and have done that in the past. And you get honest feedback from them. Also, they know how other projects are running and align that with the direction Atlassian is going. And then you get a fresh view. Sometimes we are buried into our project, and you get a fresh view on the project. But said that is, you're the project leader, so they just can give you a direction. It's your decision how where you take your project. It's your project still. All right. Another thing that's very important for high performance teams is to give them a strong structure. I've been working in a company that looked a little bit like this. We were on the door there left, and then the designers were there, and the IT team were in the basement. So where IT teams sometimes are. And this doesn't really work because we need to work together. And this is not working. Imagine doing a movie and having all these people sitting in different rooms, the director, the cameraman, the light. That doesn't really work. They create a movie together, the whole experience. So I'm a big fan of cross-functional teams. Having testers, designers, product managers, ops people inside one team. That doesn't mean you just work for that one team. If for example, the tester, we don't have anything to test now for the tester. So the tester can go to another team and help them if they need help. Or the designers. Of course, we want to have a overall design of that looks the same in all our products. So the designers are, of course, taking 1 day, 1 week off to work on that. So they also work in the design team. But this is your core team. And so they come back and give the direction to the core team, and the core team understands why we changed the design. So this is very important. Cross-functional teams really helps you with a lot of stuff. So information flows. It's just you can just talk to the designer directly, talk to the tester directly, talk to the ops guys directly. Information flows. You can make faster decisions inside your team, and you get a diversity of thought. Of course, the designer, they want all new fancy stuff and make it look great, and then the ops guys wanted to make it more stable. So what you get is also a better understanding of each other's role and why they take these decisions. So that's very important. I already said making your team a safe place, speak, listen, and handle each other with respect builds a strong team, a strong high-performance team. And your team is really your safe place. It should be your safe place to also fuck things up. Here, this is a blog post from someone who fucked things up, but hey, there was a team actually that catched him. And this is also important to foster innovation. If you can fail, you can try out more stuff in your team. If your team catches you and takes all that, then this is great. Also important for high performance teams is that you get into the rhythm. So you have some rituals you're doing each week, each day to bond your team together. But then on the other side also some refreshments, some new stuff. Otherwise it gets boring. So a developer came actually all the way from Sweden to Atlassian, and he said, let's have a fika. No, we didn't know what the hell is a fika. So, well, this guy from Sweden told me it's something like having coffee together. So we said, okay, great. We're doing that each week. We're sitting together, having a time off, drinking coffee together, and then talk about all kind of stuff. And you can say, hey, why did we change the design? So you normally have your meetings where it's very formal, but then you have a more relaxed atmosphere and you can talk more freely about stuff, which normally you do in a startup. You're doing it at the evening in the bar or something when you hang out. But hey, we are a little bit mature now, so we are doing this features. And then what I also did before I joined Atlassian, I had a team, a developer team. I showed some conference videos on Fridays. So each Friday before we head up to the weekend, we saw a conference video just to learn, get the experience, and then discuss the things that we just saw, and then head out to the weekend. That was a nice rhythm, nice ritual that we did every week. But also some refreshments like getting stuff done days, renting a meeting room for one day, turning off your chat tool, your emails, and really get stuff done. It's amazing what you can do in one day if you just concentrate on one thing, like doing a refactoring, getting that feature right, doing documentation, which we all hate, but we have to do that. Doing that in one day, it's really amazing what you can do in one day. Also, what we do is every 6 weeks we take time off to scratch an itch, to work on innovative stuff for our products. Just some ideas that we have, 1 week long work on that. And it's actually amazing what comes out of these innovation week, what cool new features for the product, and also new products came out of innovation weeks at Atlassian. But a team is of course working together, but it's made out of individuals. And we should celebrate ourselves. I mean, we probably celebrate the big things, like a big release. Yeah, we're doing a release party. But also the small things. We should celebrate the small things. So we should give kudos to each other. So if someone helped me actually running my software, putting it in a Docker container and run on AWS, it would have taken me a long time to do that, to find out. But hey, there was someone who does that. I can give kudos to that person. And it's very easy actually at Atlassian to give kudos to a person. You fill out a ticket here, just the nominee, what's the reason for kudos, and then you select a gift, bottle of wine or movie tickets or whatever, and then you press create. And the rest is done behind the scenes. This person receives a card 2 days after with a bottle of wine, say, hey, thank you for helping Sven actually running his small software into Docker. Kudos to you. Great job. Also, another thing that's happening at Atlassian is random office clapping. Well, so people do their stand-ups, and then they say, I finished my feature, and people in the stand-ups start clapping. And it's a thing that happens in the San Francisco office. It's a very open office. So people hear that. And then all of a sudden the whole office starts clapping, and it feels really good if you're staying there and the whole office claps. That's amazing. So also here, very very great. All right. The next thing is to get supportive context, get support from the whole rest of the organization in order to build a high-performance teams to move forward fast. So if you take a decision, if you have to make a decision, you're probably collecting information from a lot of sources. Maybe from one-on-ones, talking to someone, from emails that you exchange that influence your decision, documents, meetings that you're doing. Of course, you have to set up meetings to really drive that decision. Random discussions, word of mouth, Excel sheets that are laying around somewhere that you find that guide your decision, and then the intranet. And we think this is the most important thing. That should guide your decision. The intranet. All information should be in the intranet. And we are the makers of Confluence, so I talk a lot to people about their intranet doing with Confluence, and I can see that is happening here. They open up their team space, so you can see everything what the team is doing, share some company information, and then you have your personal pages. But some stuff is also locked down, actually a lot of stuff. So other projects, you're not allowed to see them. Other team goals, no. Lockdown, strategies, decisions, other teams' decisions, no, you can't see that. I think it should be the other way around. There should be more open than closed. It should be more like this, and we call that open by default. So every page that you create, it's open by default. Everyone can see that. Why shouldn't they? What's the reason? Why should I lock it down? So of course we also have some pages that are locked down. I mean, we're now a public company. We're not everyone is allowed to see everything. So, but actually, if you do a page, it's open by default. Everyone can read that. So write down your decisions to share that with the rest of the organization so it guides their decisions. So for example, here Stan Pittet wrote about Bitbucket pipelines, why we actually created that. It's a continuous delivery tool for the cloud. And then he wrote everything down, some links to dive deeper into the topic. And then also what was cool is you can add comments. So I ask actually the questions, hey, why is it not available for behind the firewall for the server edition of Bitbucket? And then Stan said, yeah, it's built all on cloud services, AWS, Docker, so would take us a lot of time to build that behind the firewall. And that's a good reason. So I said, okay, I still would like to have it, but anyway, that's a good reason. And also make it allow people to edit this stuff. To add some more things to it. If they have links, they can add that to that page. Or if they see, okay, this is outdated, this page, they can add it in the header saying, okay, this page is outdated, here's the new version. So make page editable. Don't be afraid of that. We have a sentence and we say always, share it or it didn't happen. So put it into our intranet or it didn't happen. Actually, Don Brown wrote a blog post about it internally. He called EAC, which is our extranet at Atlassian.com intranet. And if it's not there, it probably didn't happen. We say that. And we actually share a lot of stuff. And we call that internally open company, no bullshit. So that's actually a value that we have. One of our values is open company, no bullshit. Great, you think. It comes also with some problems if you're that open. So for example, someone actually wrote a page from the security team, said, let's have a new bring your own device policy. Yes, to be honest, that was a very, very strict policy. And people didn't really like that. So we have had a lot of comments on that and a lot of passionate discussion. And that's what's happening. So there was some people saying, if you put that in place, I cannot work from home anymore because I cannot check my emails at home. I won't do that, stuff like that. So it was really, really, really a lot of discussions around that bring your own device policy. So at one point, our founder, Mike Cannon-Brooks, jumped in and said, hey, we take that offline now. We look at it again. Thanks for all your feedback. Stop the discussion right now. We take these key persons out and then do a meeting and then try to solve the problems and make it bring your own device to policy that fits for everyone at Atlassian. But important here, don't rant on each other. Don't do that. This person actually put a lot of effort in writing that down, and he's probably as smart as you are. So actually, we have another value, and that is play as a team. And this is as important as open company, no bullshit. So these things actually go hand in hand. Open company, no bullshit, and play as a team. All right, so information, make it easy, accessible information, have a place where people can find this information to guide their decisions in order to move forward fast. But also get help from the rest of the organization. Make that easy to get help from each other. So what is if you want to open source your library? Well, we've actually a ticket for that. So you can just fill it out here, open source it, press create, and then legal department looks at it, the CTO looks at it. That's just done behind the scenes. So the process is just is there. You just create that ticket. Or if you want to have SSH access, of course you can call your admin to do that. But maybe he or she is on vacation. So fill out a ticket, and 2 hours later you got SSH access. Or if you're moving, or if you're traveling to another office, for example, the Amsterdam office. And for people who were in Amsterdam, you need a bike in Amsterdam. If you need a bike, well, fill out a ticket. Who should I call actually to get a bike in Amsterdam if I travel to Amsterdam? Well, there's a service desk for it. So, and then make these services discoverable. Actually, Twitter uses that, and they have around 120 different service desks for different parts in the organization to make service actually easy accessible. But that's also a downside if you have that, because always you're waiting for others. If you open a ticket, you have always to wait for others. And it's better to have actually a self-service, to do stuff yourself, to move on fast as a high-performance team. So do stuff yourself. For example, if you want to get a legal contract reviewed, do it yourself. I mean, we can review contracts too. Well, so we have a rule here. There's a ticket, and if you fill it, if your contract is under $25K, and you can answer these questions here always yes, 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 and you read through it and you see, okay, there's no harm for Atlassian, press create, your contract is approved by legal automatically. You don't have to go through any review, so you do it yourself. Or if you need a tester for testing your software, do it yourself. So at Atlassian, actually, we're testing our software, manual tests, testing our software ourselves. So the developer that develops tests their software. Well, that is, it took us a longer time to get there. So we educated all our developers to become better testers, to get familiar with testing and stuff like that. So it's a longer process, but now we are there. We're actually just having a QA kickoff. So just a kickoff with a tester, and we're going through, if you're going to develop that feature, you're going to test this, and this. Go on, the coder codes, and then they meet again at a demo at the end of the project, and then the QA person said, have you thought about this? Can you try this? And that's it. That's it. So people are testing. We don't have to wait for a tester. People are testing stuff themselves. So asking for help easy and do it yourself really enables high performance teams. The last thing is the shared mindset, to build a shared mindset, shared knowledge, and think in the same direction. So if you want to build team knowledge, you probably know in older projects there's always one person, the senior developer, that is on bug fix duty because he or she knows actually the whole code base, and it's very easy for them to fix the bugs. Great, but we should share that knowledge. So we're doing something. We're setting other people also on bug fix duty. Also for the senior developer to work on new stuff because that's more fun. So we send people actually on bug fix rotations. So every week there's another person responsible for fixing bugs to share the whole mindset, the whole knowledge of the code base also. And then we have people working, of course, on features too. So one developer is working on feature X and feature Y. Of course, we have to spread that knowledge too. But developing is a process. Even though you say, okay, let's talk about that feature in a group, in a team, well, you have to make small decisions along the way. And sometimes you're seeing, I can ask that now in the stand-up, but maybe this is just I have to first I have to wait until the stand-up, or maybe I have to interrupt everyone here. Well, we give everyone that works on a feature a buddy, and we call that a feature buddy. So you get your feature buddy that also knows what this feature is about, what's the goal of this feature, and you can talk to him or her and say, hey, should I build in caching? What do you think? So you get an honest answer here. So building team knowledge with feature buddies, also a thing. All right, team discussions also very important. Or share your ideas. You want to know what other team members are working on. So, for example, what the design people are working on. So the design people, for example, they put all their ideas out, and then you can actually comment on that. So you could influence the design directly by taking a post-it and comment on the design. Now, said that is building actually doing things right. When you want to do things right, you build processes like for code quality. You want to have a flow where everyone reviews every line of code to make sure the quality is okay. And then maybe you want to have on pull request 1, 2, 3 approvers always to make sure this code is really the quality of the code is good enough to put it up in the master branch. You build a process. That's fine. But more importantly than doing things right is actually doing the right things. And for that, you need to build your you have to make your team adaptable, so they adapt to new situations fast. If you want to do the right things, that's very important. Because, as I said in the beginning, there are high-performance teams in quite chaotic teams, and also in very structured teams. Things are done the team way. It's what fits best for the team. Not the organization shouldn't tell you how to do stuff. It should be the team, because teams are actually different, and they can be high performance teams in every kind of team. But then that said, maybe we look at other teams too. We have to look at other teams that maybe have run into that problem, and that we need some guidance also. But some best practices from other teams to get our team better. Guidance could be so guidance. We put together the best practices. So we looked at different teams and put together that best practices and put that into a playbook, and we call that the team playbook. So we have some 40 plays in there that guides you through different situations in the development process. Of course, this playbook is not a book. It's a couple of Confluence pages that you can go through, and then it looks like this. That's an example of a play. Takes some preparation, then how long it takes, how many people can play that play, and then how difficult it is. And then, of course, the purpose of this play. What does it solve? And how to put it together, and how to wrap up at the end. So this is a typical setup of a play. Now, let's have a look at a play here. For example, is a play, if you want to test a concept that you have in mind and test that, you can play concept testing. And concept testing is something where you put everything on paper prototypes, so you print out your designs, what you think could work. You invite some users actually to look at that. So you explain, okay, if you click here, then this happens and this happens. And then the users can vote for that with some stickers. So they get stickers and they can vote on what they like, what they don't like, and it look a little bit like that. So the green ones they like, and they can actually say with the red ones where they don't like things. So this is concept testing, a play in our playbook. Or project poster is another play that is for shared understanding of your project. If you need that, you can do that here. So it's of course not a poster, it's of course a page where can people look at, but it is, you write everything down about your project, so you get a shared understanding, the solutions that you wanna, the problem that you tackle, the solutions that you're gonna look at. So this is another blueprint actually for project poster, another play in our playbook. And we have a lot of plays here. 40 or more plays, and with some you're probably familiar, brainstorming, retrospective, stand-ups, there's also some plays that guides our teams to the right direction. So all these plays are in our playbook. And we thought, great, we have that internally, and it helps really our teams to get better. But why don't we give it to the world? So what we did is actually, 2 weeks ago, we released the playbook to the world, and you can now go into atlassian.com/team playbook. I think we put out 20 plays right now, so you can look at that to improve your teams. Well, said that, secret sauce, compelling direction, strong structure, supportive context from the rest of the organization, and a shared mindset. Great. So how good is your team? How awesome is your team? Do you know that? Or we don't ask the question how awesome your team is. We ask the question, how healthy is your team? And how healthy is your project? And can you actually measure it? Do you know where you should improve your team? Very important. So we actually developed 8 checkpoints for project teams to measure the health of the team. So one is, does the project have a full-time owner? Is the team balanced? Does the team have a shared understanding? Do they have value and metrics in place to measure success? Can you provide an end-to-end demo even though half of it is mocked? Do you have a README file in place where you can point people to read about the project? Have you figured out all dependencies, all stakeholders? And is the velocity, how are you performing with the velocity? And then you can actually say with dots, green, yellow, red, how healthy is your team? It's healthy, it's a little bit sick, and it's really sick. And then you can measure that. You put together all the team and measure the team health and say, okay, this week it's looking like this. Okay, we have to improve that. And then you can see the team health over time to improve it. And we have run 500 health monitors within Atlassian and helped really teams to get better. Also, the health monitor is part of the team playbook. You can go there, try it out, and measure the health of your team. So, what is if the health is red? What happens? Well, you should fix stuff. You should fix stuff in your team. So, you should actually think and act like a founder. Not wait until other people come and say, okay, let's fix that for you. Now we have a company policy. Now we can fix it. Don't wait for that. Go in and do stuff yourself. How would a founder do it? A founder wouldn't wait until someone comes and does that. He said, founder would go, okay, problem, let's fix that. We have a value for that, it's called Be the Change You Seek, also very important for us. Now, you might say, okay, I can fix stuff here in my little team environment, but what happens if I have an overlap here with another team? Yeah, this other team probably has the same issue. So go to that team and try to fix it. Also here. So I started the talk with that we are all these, that we want to have these rock stars in our teams, the Elon Musk, the Steve Jobs, to drive our team forward. I think they are important also, but it's a little bit like what we had around 6-7 years ago when we ran into the problem with single core processors that we ran on physical limits. And also these people have physical limits. So what did we do with processors? Well, we had multi-core processors. Yeah, so having more processors working on more tasks. But the thing is also here, also, if you have multi-core or multi-core processors, there's some communication required. You have to dispatch the different things to the processors, and that's the same actually with teams. If we team up, there's a lot of communication between the team, and I just said that communication is very important. And if you add more people to the team, well, we have more communication. So teams also have a certain physical limit, how big your team is in terms of that you communicate everything around it. So, but I think still you should team up in order to be awesome. Thank you very much.